Italy has a way of calling people forward with a quiet nudge to imagine a different rhythm. In this episode, we meet 7 people who followed that feeling. Their stories prove that moving to Italy isn't just for the rich and famous. It's for anyone ready to swap good morning for buongiorno and call Italy home.
I want to live in the Italian culture. Yeah, this is my labor of love. Hi, I'm Debbie Dexter. I'm from Seattle, Washington. And in 2022, I bought this beautiful home in Monteleone di Orvieto in La Frazione di Santa Maria in Umbria, Italy. My daughter and I traveled to Italy for the first time when she was 7, and we fell in love. And we've been all over the world. She's been to all 7 continents, but we always find ourselves drawn back to Italy. And the minute we step off that plane, you just feel your heart rate just like calm. And so I used to always joke that I would one day just buy a house here and never really thinking it was real. I just started looking at property, and I came to realize how affordable buying a place in Italy actually could be. I looked at Tuscany, Umbria, Lazio, and Le Marche, but really drawn to Umbria, over and over again. If I were going to buy a place, a second home somewhere in a foreign country, I really needed to understand what all that meant, what the budget would look like, so I could really understand finances, everything. And then when Delta announced it would fly 2 flights a week from the US to Italy, in June, we booked our tickets, my daughter and I, and we were here 10 days. We spent 3 days. We looked at 5 to 6 properties per day. And then every day, my daughter and I go back to the apartment. We'd make our notes. We'd swap stories. We'd roll things out. And there were 2 properties that we wanted to see again. And this was one of them. And we knew, this is way more house than we were looking for. But at the price, we got all this land and this amazing home, we couldn't pass it up, and we just knew it was ours. And so we put an offer in. Offer went in July, and then we signed the deed January 19th, 2022, and we took ownership of the house and have been making it our home ever since. The idea behind the digital nomad visa is that it gives me more flexibility in when I can be here and being able to come back and forth more freely and not being locked in and locked out for set periods of time. There's other perks that come with it. Like once I have my permesso di soggiorno, I can actually buy a car. So what's funny in Italy is you can buy a house, but you can't buy a car. So yeah, it's really more about freedom of movement and having the opportunity to come and go more readily. If in the United States, if I wanted to buy a 00 flower, it's if you can find it, it's like $12 for a little flower. You can buy a twofer on Amazon for $28. It's 66 cents at the coop. Yeah, I'm bringing home a ton of flour because we'll just make pasta from scratch. But a bottle of wine, my niece, when she came the first time, her favorite wine, she pays $38 in Texas for it. It's $8 at the coop. And when it's on sale, it's $4.50. And the quality of food, like my son-in-law Andrew and my friend Heather, they hate tomatoes, absolutely hate them. They eat nothing but tomatoes here because you can taste the tomato finally. And so, what I've learned is in Italy, they grow food for flavor, not for longevity. And so you shop regularly because you want it to be fresh. In the States, it has no flavor because it needs to have a shelf life of 3 weeks. I am very fortunate in that every Thursday, Tomas, the young man, maybe in his 30s, drives the fruit and vegetable truck, and he backs it into our shared drive. And I hear the toot toot, and Tomas is here, and I get to go mingle with the neighbors and get fresh fruit and vegetables. And that's usually what I might plan my week's menu on, is that, zucchini's in play, or it's carciofi season, whatever is in season, and then we'll cook from there. My criteria when looking, one, I had to have some outdoor space. It needed to have ideally 2 or 3 bedrooms, and it had to be in, fairly good condition. We weren't big on doing a lot of huge renovations. I love is this is a country house. I have 100% Italian neighbors, don't speak a lick of English. There's 4 generations of family that live behind us, and we've become family with them. I didn't want to live in an expat community. If I wanted to live with other Americans, I'd stay in America. So I'm 3 minutes to Fabroscalo, which is the nearby town, has all your basic amenities, and I'm 5 minutes from the autostrada, and I can be anywhere, whether it's Rome in an hour and a half, or Florence in an hour and a half, or anywhere in between. Hi, welcome to my home. Come on inside. I'd love to just show you a little bit about it. The house is 105 years old. Closed on it in January of 2022, and I've been working on making it my home. This is my office space. It also can serve as a guest bedroom if we needed one, although I don't think we do. The house itself has tremendously great bones, so we didn't really have to do a lot to it. This is the new kitchen. This was originally the dining room and pantry, and really just felt like this was a better space to have the kitchen. And now, because we've created an upper terrace that you can go straight from the kitchen up and enjoy a nice meal outside and enjoy the fountain in the garden. And if you cross over, this room is the dining room now, but it was the original kitchen. But you'll see it has this beautiful traditional Umbrian fireplace, which is just a beautiful piece. So I thought, oh, wouldn't it be great if we could open up this wall and be able to enjoy the fireplace from the living room or the dining room. So we got permission to open it this much, and we created the arch, and then had a custom mosaic put in because we were never going to be able to match the original terracotta floors. And it looks like it fits, but it's another way we've made the house our own. This is the living space. This is the soggiorno. Nice, big, open, lots of light. Love all the big windows and the high ceilings. It's just a very open, lofty space. So let's go upstairs. Now, there's somewhere around the 50s, maybe, the bathrooms were added onto the house. So I call this the mezzanine floor. And we did refinish the bathrooms to bring them up to date. There's beautiful hand-painted Amalfi tiles. My daughter has very good taste. Okay, let's go up to the bedrooms. This room, I call the yellow room, and I really designed it for my mom. She loves yellow. She loves to have a little dressing table. She's 88 now, so she doesn't get here, but when she first came, I wanted to make it special for her. And then across this way is the twin room, another space where when my niece and her girlfriends come, there's lots of space. Every room has an antique armoire. Here, I created a nice little sitting area so that if you're waiting for someone or just want to relax and don't want to be in a room, you've got a nice space. My favorite thing about the house is the Juliet balcony. And you get this spectacular view of the neighborhood. I love to sit up here, put my feet up, have a glass of wine. There was a tree originally here blocking the entire view, but because it was leaning and it was not native, we could remove it, which made a huge difference in the yard. I can hear the train in the distance. I can hear the lawn guys. Fall is my favorite time because the tractors go by because they're all delivering wood for the winter. I bought this house and all of this land for $225,000. Unbelievable. Like I can't even, and people's jaw just drops when they hear that. So this home was move-in ready, with the exception of they do take their kitchens with them when they leave. And they take light fixtures and thermostats and sometimes toilets. I came prepared to open the house once I had the keys and just put in light bulbs, but they actually took the sockets too, so there was wires sticking out of everything. I love to putz around the garden. I like to visit with the neighbors. I like to go exploring still. There's so many places, so I'll pick a town and go exploring for the day. Sundays are my favorite because there's antique markets all over Umbria and Tuscany. Just being able to enjoy all that is in Italy and in the garden. My recommendation is make a list, right? So what are your must-haves? What are your deal breakers? What are your nice to haves but don't have to haves, and really start to understand that. I think working with experts is the best investment anyone can ever make. Smart Move Italy, they're experts in it, and they just make it so easy to make sure that you're understanding the budgeting and the finances properly.
Hi, my name is Tim,
My name is Cheri.
and we moved here to Italy in Pistoia from St. Louis, Missouri in November of 2024.
The reason we wanted to move here as opposed to just vacationing here, it's a long trip over, and our son has challenges with flying on a long trip. Both of the times we came here by ourselves on our own, and we just wanted to spend a lot more time here. We wanted to travel more in Italy, and so it made a lot more sense to just live here.
When we came here, even the first time, really I just fell in love with the culture.
We wound up in Pistoia because that's where we found an apartment. So we used the property assistance with Smart Move Italy to find us an apartment. And we were looking anywhere in Tuscany. The real estate agent that we got paired with and his wife were amazing. They were so wonderful to work with. And they set up video, like WhatsApp video calls with a couple different properties. We were looking for somewhere furnished with at least 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. And that was hard to find. We just happened to find it here in Pistoia. That's where we found our first apartment. And it's been a great city to live in, I think, to land here, because it's big enough that everything's in walking distance. We can walk to the pharmacy, to the grocery store.
Restaurants.
Yeah, there's
train
tons
station,
of restaurants. Yeah.
Questera. Oh yeah, everything is within walking distance.
Yeah. And,
very nice.
And our landlords have been wonderful. They have helped us so much with the bureaucracy and the paperwork and where to go for what. And yeah, they've been very helpful too. So it's been the perfect place for us here in Pistoia to land.
Here in Italy, there's just so much new to explore and discover.
I love just traveling and seeing the places that I had only seen in pictures or in videos, and just the history. I just love seeing it. I just find it amazing. Hard to put into words sometimes.
Yeah.
So we are here on an elective residency visa, commonly called an ERV, also referred to as a retirement visa. With the visa that we are on, you had to prove you had a passive income to live here without working. You needed to have a place to stay. You needed to have your transportation booked already to get here. And then once we arrived, then we had to apply for the permesso di soggiorno within 8 days. While we were applying, waiting for an answer for the ERV, we had sold our house, sold almost everything we owned, sold our house, and moved in with his sister and her husband.
On a farm.
About an hour away from our hometown, and lived with them for 5 months while we waited to see if we could go. And if the answer was no, we'd had to buy another house because everything was gone.
And now we're here, and we have our permesso and our carta di identità, our health cards.
So we moved here with our son, Alex, who is 21 actually and has Down syndrome. And that was our biggest, or at least for me, that was the thing I was most nervous about, was how well he would handle it, because he's not going to learn Italian. We're having a hard enough time ourselves. And he's got some mobility challenges. So it was kind of how well he would fit in here. If there was anything that was going to send us back home, it was going to be if things didn't work out well for Alex. But it has worked out really well. People here have been really friendly with him. Our landlords have loved him, and we found help with like the disability services here. He loves to eat, so pasta, he doesn't chew solid food. Pasta is perfect for him. He eats a lot of lasagna and a lot of gelato.
We've been on the national health insurance since July, right?
Yeah.
And I've been able to get appointments fairly quickly and things taken
And
care
close
of.
by, yeah.
Yeah, blood work. And we found a place for Alex, Reggie Hospital in Florence. They have a strong special needs group that is able to help him.
On that first appointment, it was really just to kind of meet him. We weren't really sure because he doesn't always like new things. He's a little resistant and fusses a lot, And they were just so good with him. They just wanted to meet him. It was their suggestion to take pictures together with him and little videos. And now we show him those. And, they were just really, really good with him. And just getting to know him and not putting any pressure on him.
And the other public services have all been good. Questera can be a little challenging because when you go to pick up your card, you basically have to stand in line.
Wait in line, yeah.
And that can be a long day. Right. But when Alex is with you, we kind of move up to the front of the line. Yeah. We've been very happy with the services and it's been really good. So it's challenging, it's different, but at the same time, they seem to work with us and works good.
When we talked about moving to Italy, a lot of people, I think, were just really surprised and because they hadn't known anybody who's done this. And we haven't known anybody who has moved to another country. But really anything's possible. And we're not rich. I mean, we're middle-class Americans and with just a sense of adventure and found a way to make it happen. When you're retired and you're still young enough and healthy enough to get around and enjoy life, it's like you got to make the most of it because...
you just never know. And the other thing is that all the planning is gold. I mean, it makes it so much easier to know. I've had somebody from the United States, a younger gentleman in his 30s, who was thinking to look at it. I was like, well, do you know what kind of visa? Do you know what you want to do? So you got to kind of have some... Hi, Alex. You have to have some kind of idea, but you also have to go without preconceived ideas too. You got to be open for adventure and new things and challenges. Mm-hmm. And whether you're at home in the United States or you're at home in Italy, there's going to be challenges either way. So you got to be willing to accept them. Right, Alex?
The thing I love most about Italy is its people first.
I am Michael Spott.
I'm Toni Spott.
And we are originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and moved to Todi in 2022, and now we go back and forth between Todi and now New York, specifically Brooklyn.
When we first started thinking about Italy was over 10 years ago. Came upon me one day that I wanted to go to Italy and I wanted to rent a villa. We came, we had a great time. I think we were done at that point. We knew we wanted to be in Italy.
People think we were drawn to Todi, but it really wasn't. We were drawn to a geography that we picked and a place that we knew the unit, the apartment that we looked at was ideal. So that's what pulled us here. And then it was a matter of understanding whether this community was going to be a place that we could live and enjoy. So really, first it was the place we were living, and then discovering where it is and whether it was something we wanted to. So it wasn't originally Todi, it was the other way around.
When we were first thinking of moving to Italy, I'm like, I only want to live where the Italians are. I don't want any expats. I just want Italians. The expats are what got us through any changes or any issues. I mean, they have been so supportive and such a great community here. And, you know, we get together for book clubs once a month. There's 2 of them that are really great. You can't walk through the piazza without seeing 3 different people that you stop and say hello, and you end up having coffee or lunch. You know, it's so welcoming at any given time during the day, on any day.
We both thrive on really human connection. To me, that's what brings me a lot of joy and happiness, both of us.
Yeah.
Getting comfortable with these new connections and how it forces us to grow, and maybe forces isn't the right word, but it just, to me, change is a gift. And we come to Italy because we're awarded this opportunity to grow and change in such a beautiful place with wonderful people. Retirement's a journey. We never really know quite where we're going. We just sort of follow the energy, and there's a lot of it around here. And so, to me, it's just that simple. Culturally, within the United States, we're really taught, we're kind of ego-driven and achievement, and keep working your way up to get to somewhere. The Italians will remind you that the somewhere is your life. You come back here and you start to see that there's more of a life-work balance here than there is in the country I come from. So life-work balance, they work to live, and to me that's a big difference. They're so focused on preserving their culture and heritage, which you don't really understand that concept and what it means until you come here and see the beauty here, which a lot of it has to do with them preserving their culture and their traditions, which is something that we don't see back in the States. When we talk to Filippo, for instance, as an American, I would come in and say, I need a table. What is it going to cost me? When am I going to get my quote? But here, you learn to ask him first about his family and how the kids are doing, and do you want a coffee? And to him, he's an artist that wants to understand the spirit of what we want in a table, not simply here in Italy, things feel less of a transaction as they do in the States. Very transactional relationships in the States. Mm-hmm. Here it is kind of personal. Yeah. Actually making that adjustment, it's an adjustment to get off of the transactional discussion and into a personal discussion, which is really kind of refreshing.
It's a beautiful thing, yeah. The whole world would be a better place if everybody was like that, quite frankly. Benvenuti. Please come in. This is our home in Todi. This is the guest room that we have redone. Most of the artwork you see in the apartment is done by me, good and bad, but it's a lovely room with great views. And then we have our little library section here, which is nice. And then you come this way, and this is the master bedroom. And this is where I do some of my art, but besides that, the views here are magnificent. We get the sunset over here, and when you lay in bed, you just see these beautiful views. It's just so magnificent. We're so fortunate. And then if you come this way, this is our open concept living room, dining room, kitchen. And it's modern. We really didn't have to do anything other than paint and add a few touches of our own here, which is actually kind of nice. It's got its Italian fireplace here, which actually we rarely use, but it's kind of fun having it, Again, the views are magnificent. We get the sunrise over here. We have a lovely balcony over here. We've got views for days. We see when the storms come through and thunder and lightning, you see these beautiful picturesque scenes. It's crazy. And it makes it all worthwhile. It's smaller. We had a nice, good-sized home back in the States and sold everything. So this is much smaller than we're used to, but you get used to it and it's fine. It's all we need. The process of searching for a home in Italy. Yes, it's an interesting adventure, we'll say. Coming from the States, and I used to be in real estate, so I kind of have an idea of how it should work and whatnot. But in Italy, it's just a different animal. You have to have a lot of patience. So it's good to have an agent that you're working with who can help you through all of this. And we did. Smart Move was fantastic, of course. But it's a completely different animal. Not easy.
This is in the centro, and this is about 85 square meters, maybe at the most. And this was 140,000 euros. And we put very little, just a lot of cosmetic work into it. So I think for under 150,000 euros, you can get something very comfortable, at least for 2 people.
Most importantly, we also got a huge garden. It's basically the same size as this apartment.
You don't really appreciate sometimes what you have until other people come and see us. And people just are astounded by the views and the fact that we have a green space. And sometimes we take that for granted. So I think for what we paid compared to what we would get in the States, yeah, it was definitely
no regrets. Yeah, the food here is outstanding. We have a lot of restaurants here, and each one better than the next.
What I find even more remarkable is that, the hamburger, which is the American iconic food item, it's the best hamburger I've had.
He's obsessed with this.
In Todi here. I just can't get over that. Because that's our thing,
Yeah.
When we come home, we want a hamburger, but I can get it here in Todi. So also the gelato here, and I'm kind of a snob,
Yes.
is unbelievable here. I will say that sometimes I miss the variation that you get in bigger cities like New York and London, where I can step out and have some Indian, Chinese. Here, it's
Pretty much Italian.
Italian themes. But I don't miss out on it because the quality is so high. So what I lose in variety, it makes up for in quality. Everybody needs a trusted source of information because you don't know everything. And the internet and the face group, as good as they are, they're all biased sources. And people have all their different experiences. So you have to be careful about connecting with people with similar experiences, understand what information you can get from that. But I'm going to come back to, say, an organization like Smart Move, where you can use them as kind of an anchor point to kind of find out what really is going on and what's relevant and what's important to you. And then you kind of marry it with your other sources of information. It's really hard. Nobody gets it from one source anymore. But I think we used an organization like Smart Move as kind of an anchor point. And then from there, kind of learned our way around. So.
Italy was calling me. My name is Nancy Berkley. I grew up in the center of the United States in Kansas. In 1993, one of the companies I was working for allowed me to come to Italy on a buying trip, and that began my love affair with Italy. My criteria for moving to Italy was I can't live in the north because I do not like to be cold, and I can't live in the south because I don't move that slowly. So Samantha suggested I look in the middle, and she suggested some towns to check out. And so I started my journey in Lucca and moved my way west across the middle of the country. Arezzo was the third city that I visited. I just fell in love with the piazza and the park at the top of the town. So the next practical steps were fast and furious, just the way it turned out. I had to get an appointment at the consulate. That happened more quickly than anticipated, and I got approved more quickly than I anticipated. So then I had to sell my worldly possessions and get my house ready to put on the market in Dallas. And I just I just made a checklist. It was like a work checklist. This has to be done, this has to be done, this has to be done. And I just checked it all off. I decided just, sell it all and start again here. When I told people I was moving to Italy, that I'd been approved, well, first I think they thought I was crazy, that I would never do it because I talked about it for so long. My 91-year-old mother, of course, was not pleased with me, but I have 3 siblings and they can look after her. And my friends really just were like, good for you, do it, why not? So I am here in Italy on an elective residency visa. Some people call it the retirement visa. Bureaucratically, getting the visa was actually easier than I anticipated. You have to get a lot of documents together, and with the help of Smart Move Italy, they helped me make sure I had the right documentation that the consulate would understand. It's just a matter of gathering them and then going to the consulate and presenting your information, and then they decide whether you will receive the visa or not. They told me on the spot, which I literally had to go down into the lobby and sit down in a chair after they told me, because I thought, oh my gosh, this is really happening. I'm actually renting an apartment in Arezzo right now. I sold my home in Texas, but I did not want to commit to buying another home yet. I wanted to get settled and kind of get a feel for the area and figure out where I want to be. Honestly, this apartment is a block from Piazza Grande, and I don't think I could get a better place than this, so I may be staying here. My rent is 800 euros per month with a 50 euro condo fee. My contract is a 3-2, which I think is pretty standard here in Italy. So a 3-2 means the lease is for 3 years with an option to renew for 2 more. After that time, we can renegotiate the terms of the lease. Let me give you a little tour of the apartment I was able to rent in Arezzo. It's a 1-bedroom, 2-bath. It's got a lovely entryway and a very nice sitting area. And these steps go up to a bathroom and the bedroom. I really enjoy the high ceilings and the big windows. I get a lot of great sun in the afternoon. And here's the living area. It's just perfect for the size of the apartment. And then I have a kitchen that is a separate room, which I really like, because I am not one to always have the cleanest kitchen. My day-to-day life here now is kind of like it was in Dallas. There are days I go out and run errands and buy groceries. There are days I stay in and clean house and do those boring house things that one does. And then there are days where I've been inside all day and I go, oh, I must go to the piazza and have an aperitivo, because I find the piazza so beautiful and so relaxing. And there's a nice biodynamic wine bar there that has a great view. So I'll go there and have a drink, sometimes dinner, and then find myself home. My life here is very different than the United States. I have no car, which means I walk everywhere. So you learn where things are, and you learn how much you can carry up the hill and up the steps. But the other great thing that I have found is I have just slowed down. You know, in the United States, you always have to be doing something, going somewhere, getting something, doing something. And that is not really the mindset here, nor is it the feel when you're out in the streets. People aren't racing everywhere and hurrying. My advice for anyone thinking of doing this same thing is do it. What have you got to lose?
Like, share, and subscribe for more stories on the way. This episode is brought to you by the Smart Move Italy app, your free tool for planning, moving, and thriving in Italy. Download it today on iOS and Android.